Did I just pull?
Boom. Look at my little toe. Look at
your strong little toe.
My strong little toe. All right.
Bring in the strong toe. Frank Azar.
Sorry, strong toe.
Hey.
It's checking. Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, podcast listeners.
And
hey,
podcast viewers.
Instagram live watchers. We're here
And
right now.
Yep.
And it's 30ish podcast. Yeah. It's recording time.
Here we are.
Hi, Shay.
Hi, Brianna.
How are you today?
I'm super good. I had a couple drinks, so.
Ooh, wee.
Here we go again.
What kind of drinks?
I mean, super basic. Just some vodka sodas and,
Sodies.
Oh, hi, cousin Shay.
Road sodies?
No, I'm not that kind of alcoholic.
I guess you were driving to your house from far away.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that far. It was maybe 10 minutes.
That's pretty far when you're wasted.
I mean,
any roadies.
Any place is far when you're wasted.
That's very true. That's very true. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Actually, we say hi to our new friend all the time. I don't even fucking know what your real name is, so just tell us right there so we know.
Okay.
Go.
Are we
now.
waiting?
Just
okay.
kidding.
Okay.
No, we're not. But I'll find it. I'll see it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what drink are we drinking tonight? Should we talk about that?
It's pretty tart.
It's very tart and it's very basic.
Hey, it's like a greyhound, isn't it?
And
a greyhound.
It looks like a greyhound. It's sort of like a greyhound. A greyhound is cranberry. No,
greyhound is
grapefruit
juice.
But this is blood orange juice.
Oh, my bad.
Vodka.
Chris. Hi, Chris.
And hi, Chris.
You should remember
we will
that.
never forget this. No. We will never forget your name is Chris now. Chris. Okay.
Blood orange.
It's blood orange, Topo Chico, and greyhound is grapefruit.
Oh, you're right.
But it's a cousin of the greyhound, so maybe it's one of those little Italian things, the little small greyhounds. What are those called?
Oh, okay.
We can call it that because it's like a cousin.
Greyhound.
You know those little weird, the ones that the fucking, what's her name, Jenner has? Kylie Jenner has like 17 of these tiny greyhound dogs.
A whippet?
A whippet!
Dude, I come out fire with random shit. It's a whippet.
Ooh, that really took it out of me. Okay, whippet. Jesus Christ, did anyone follow that?
Oh my god.
So this is a whippet because it's not a greyhound.
Go try this blood orange shit. It's delicious.
Oh, by the way.
Where is it from?
Okay, so the blood orange juice is the best blood orange juice that you will find. Hi, Mom. It's called Natalie's, and it hopefully is in your local grocery store. It's made in Fort Pierce, Florida. But they have really amazing orange juice and blood orange juice.
It is delicious. It's
and
very
lots
tart
of
on the
other
lips.
flavors on their website.
Thanks.
Oh my god, I almost spelled it.
Oh, please don't do that.
And it looks like fucking sherbet.
It does look like sherbet. It kind of tastes
like
like sherbet.
Creamsicle. And then we...
Oh, okay.
Then we put Topo Chico in it because duh.
I know, we're going to have to get like a little bit better about not using the taupe so much since we're on like a dry spell up here.
Oh yeah, there's like a shortage on Topo Chico. Do you guys know about this?
Which I didn't know about it until my mom came up here and she's like, "This Topo Chico tastes amazing." I'm like, "Don't you have like a pallet of it in your freaking garage?" And she goes, "No, it's on a shore." I'm like, "Oh my god!" It's like,
what? Why did I not get informed of this?
I've become a basic bitch about it, but it's fine. It's fine. I will survive, you guys.
We might. We'll have to use spindrifts.
Yeah.
Not a shortage on those.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, speaking of, this is actually not speaking of anything, but did you see today that like apparently they found the Zodiac Killer or something? Did you see any of this news?
No.
Did anyone see this news? They like finally cracked the case on who the Zodiac Killer was.
Was it his mom?
I didn't read into it. I just saw 75 Instagram posts on it and never looked into one.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, well, I don't either. So great.
Okay, that was a great follow-up.
You definitely knew. God damn it.
I would look at my phone,
we'll research
but I can't
and get back to you. Austin, fact checker.
My Shane, that was weird. That was creepy and gross. My cousin Shane knows all about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, did they
Tell
find
us
him?
more.
They find him, cousin Shane, on Instagram Live?
Report now.
Should we... what do? You dial someone in?
You do like a correspond,
do you want to...
We're going to go to the field.
Do you want us to tap you in?
Tap-a-roo?
Tap in.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm trying to
what did you roll? What are we...
Oh, what are we...
What did you roll?
What did you roll?
What would you do? What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled pop culture nostalgia. Mm-hmm. One of the favorites of our friend Chris, because he has a whole podcast on nostalgia.
Yes.
Anyways,
is it like something with Nickelodeon?
No, it's not today.
Just disappointing. So is Chris.
There's no Nickelodeon nostalgia today. I was thinking about...
It's very lame.
My favorite childhood Nickelodeon shows would be a really great one.
What are your favorite ones?
I mean...
Besides all that.
Well, all that, obviously. Eureka's Castle.
I mean, Eureka Castle.
Gullah Island.
I never watched that one. I mean, I did, but I didn't. It was like the whole Barney-esque thing.
Hey Dude.
I never watched that.
But I think we talked about Hey Dude one time. Anyways, my pop culture nostalgia is very in theme with spooky season.
Ooh.
And you might shit your britches a little bit. Just kidding.
Is it about how candy had razor blades in them? It didn't. That was a fictional thing. But whatever.
No, it's not. It's not about that at all.
Project Peaches joined.
Oh, what's up?
Yes.
What's up, my pizza friends? But yeah, it's not about
I didn't mean to side wink at you wink.
It's not about Nickelodeon, and it's not about razor blades in your candy.
Well, then it better
But it is about nostalgia.
Amazing. Yeah.
And it is about creepy things.
I'm excited. It was Jeepers Creepers. Remember that? How we had easy bake ovens, but then you had this
creepy crawlers.
Creepy crawlers, where the guys had this scalding hot metal pan where they can give themselves 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah,
making gelatin creatures.
Neon sparkle bugs.
It's great.
Yeah, I wanted to make some of those too. But I also didn't have an easy bake oven that I also wanted.
Oh, we just
had to watch my friend's sister have one.
No, we just played eat the batter. We just would scoop that up.
We never baked it. Yeah. It was never baked.
Me and my sister were both 500 pounds each.
That's fine. And then you worked on my 600-pound life via TLC.
It came full circle.
Because you were on the show as a child. Just kidding.
We were.
You were not. That shit could not make you that big. What was that shit made out of? Glitter and plastic?
Sugar.
And chocolate powder?
Sugar in water.
Chocolate powder? Chocolate flavored powder?
It tasted like plastic, that's for sure. Okay, let's move on.
It was probably the same creepy crawlers mix, but they put chocolate in it.
That's disgusting.
And they gave it to children.
They did.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Should we go?
We should move on.
Okay, what'd you roll? You rolled crime.
Oh, yes. I rolled crime.
Are you talking about how the Zodiac Killer was found today?
Clearly not, but I'm going to look into that.
He can't be alive.
Well, that all happened in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah.
I mean, what if he was knee-eye to a big eye?
He was just an 18-year-old mastermind serial killer?
Maybe. I don't know his life or his...
Zodiac sign.
There it is. Look at you.
Anyways, okay, we gotta go.
We do have to go. Thank you for thinking
Thanks
it's
for
great,
the thumbs
Shane.
up, Mom.
Just look at no, that's her going like this.
Oh, I can't see from here.
That's a very different thing.
Oh, thumbs up. Nope.
That's her being ashamed of you and your choices.
Sorry, Mom. Well, let's get into the podcast because I choose to start now. All right, well, here we go. We're gonna get into it. Shay actually recorded the intro today.
I did.
On the podcast.
So you gotta go up there and they gotta watch your big nose hairs and you gotta go.
Here they go, flaring them up. Okay. I don't know why I'm so
just going.
Bye. Today we're talking about. Are you guys ready?
That's such a good soundtrack.
Is that a really good drum roll? Did you guys fucking hear that?
We did.
I'm like afraid this is going to be really long, so we're going to get
just get into it and then just skip what you think you don't need to put in.
Okay, well, it'll be fine. I'll get through this info.
Okay.
So I rolled nostalgia pop culture, right? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the movies that scared the shit out of us from the 90s and early 2000s. And by the movies, I mean just a choice, like 6 or so.
Oh,
we'll mention a couple in the end.
So it's a good list.
It's a great list. It's a list.
Great list. Oh, it's a great list. And actually, so Rachel and Crystal and I, we do like a little movie. Like we'll put it in like a little jar, and then we'll do like so right now, like through September through October, we stop putting movies in. We'll do like Halloween or fall movies.
Oh,
so
you guys are cute.
I know, we're pretty fucking gay together. I'm like their third gay wheel.
You are.
I'm like a triangle. It's really bizarre.
You're the tricycle.
I'm the tricycle. It's totally true. But we picked Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, which I had not watched it before, and I've never actually watched I've never watched the original Halloweens. I've never watched the Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've never watched any of that shit because I'm solid. I'm good. I watch the fucking real shit like American Justice and City Confidential. I am solid with that, which also is a very old-fashioned sentence for anybody that they're like, what's that? Snapped in, I don't know, Dateline. Yeah.
Yeah, well, these are, none of those movies you just said are on my list, so I'm
well then let's
excited to get into it and add to maybe your list of all scary movies.
Okay. Hit me.
So also these are like movies that really scared some of them I didn't really see because I was too scared to see them, but
okay. Were you too scared to see them, or
if you guys want to
send
us your favorite scary movies, just let us know too. But this is my little list. A lot of them are supernatural, psychological horror films.
Okay,
and that's probably why they fucked me up so much.
I have a few of those, so let's see if they made the list.
All right, so trigger warning, you guys might get really scared.
I'm just enjoying these trigger warnings. Jesus fucking Christ.
I had to put that in because of the last time.
Warning. Yeah, I enjoy it.
And I thought it'd be silly.
Just
even
keep
though
repeating it.
Not that trigger warnings are funny, but sometimes you can make light of things. Okay, number 1, we're going to be talking about It.
I never saw that one either.
You've never seen It?
I don't do clowns. I mean, I don't fuck them, but I also don't do them.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if you don't fuck them yet.
I mean, I just
you
prefer
still have a
not
long
to.
life to live.
I mean, one life to live. These
this
sands.
This time.
This time.
One life to live, this time to live.
I'm good about that. I don't like them singing circus, much less in my bedroom, so I'm good.
Well, yeah, so, yeah, clowns. If they weren't scary enough,
yeah,
they just fucking grin like fucking creepy motherfuckers.
Cheshire
Always
cats.
Grinning. I mean, what's scarier than an actual killer clown? What's his name? William H. Macy?
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding.
Jesus
What's his name?
Christ.
John Wayne Gacy.
I was like going to say William H. Macy, that nice gentleman.
The star of
Shameless. And
Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah. Raising Arizona. No, I'm so sorry. Fargo.
I've never seen that movie. Or the show. Anyway.
That's stupid.
Okay, so.
Okay.
We're talking about It now. So Stephen King was at it again when he, first of all, wrote the book.
Yeah.
And then he created this. Did you know that the movie It, the movie It with Tim Curry was actually a mini-series on ABC. It was a 2-part mini-series. Every time I was Googling it, like, that is what, it's not a movie. It's a mini-series. So I guess when you watch it, it is together.
So is there a break in it?
Technically, I don't think... I've never noticed that when watching the movie, but I guess I've only watched it once when I was like...
Because you were terrified and you never watched it again?
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay. That's interesting.
But I didn't realize that it was a fucking miniseries on ABC.
I feel like
in 1990.
I feel like The Stand was like that too, and I always assumed it was just one giant movie, but it was I think it was just a miniseries. That one scared the shit out of me too, but well, never mind. It doesn't matter.
I don't know about that one.
That one's fucking terrifying. Anyway.
Well, this supernatural horror and psychological drama, was a 2-part miniseries, taking place just like we remember over 2 different time periods. first when this group of kids that were known as the losers were like little in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time they confronted the evil clown Pennywise. And then the second when they return as adults in 1990 to defeat him. Oh. And then that's when he resurfaces again as them adults. So it's like the 2 time periods. So I guess that was the miniseries, like when they were kids and they were fucking with Pennywise.
That makes sense.
And he was fucking with them and killing little children. And then when they were adults and they try to fucking get rid of him for good. Starring Tim Curry, Richard Thomas, John Ritter, Annette O'Toole.
John Ritter was in that?
John Ritter was in this movie. Also, one of the child casts was fucking Seth Green.
That's adorable.
Little Sethy Poo was probably even... He must have been even smaller than he already is.
I know, he's a little baby.
Because he was a baby. Fun fact, Alice Cooper was considered for playing Pennywise.
I'm glad he did not.
So weird. He would have not been as dynamic. There's no way. No. Like,
I mean,
no offense, Alice Cooper. I know you're listening.
I knew enough that, like, I've seen enough memes that I know kind of how Tim Curry kind of played the role. So, like, and he was terrifying within itself. But, like, I could never imagine Alice Cooper playing that with that ridiculous Bozo the Clown hair. And
no.
Yeah. No. Did he? Well, you'll tell me later. Anyway, go on.
So... It took 3 hours for Tim Curry to take off his makeup and get out of his costume every single day.
Are you serious?
Isn't that insane?
I'm pretty sure. No, because what did you say about Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey did you talk about that? How it took him?
The Grinch?
Yeah, it took him like several hours.
Probably. I don't remember.
But 3 hours like is so different. Like, what do they have to just paint his face and then put a nose on him? Like,
well, he clearly was like really decked out, I guess.
I don't even
I think they put prosthetic on him a little bit too.
Oh, okay, then that makes sense.
I don't think that was just his face, but
I
maybe
was gonna
was.
say, like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
It was a lot of paint.
Also, Tim Curry's performance would unnerve the cast and crew so much that they would avoid him on set.
I don't blame him.
Which I think is awesome. He would like be in character always. I mean, I guess that's what you do when you're an actor.
He's a method actor.
And then while waiting between the shots, Tim Curry would be like chain smoking and showing him sharp teeth if one of the children actors would get close to him. And one of the little kid actors recalled he really tried to intimidate us because he wanted the fear to be real in our performances, and it worked. Isn't that hilarious? Just thinking about him being like he's just like showing his teeth at these little kids while he's chain smoking cigs.
Like, a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and his little like accent that he has.
Oh my God. We don't deserve Tim Curry. Oh my God. He's a beautiful man.
Okay, so that's it for us. Just wanted to remind you guys about it.
Okay, that's a good one.
Oh, I asked Chris, my boyfriend, Christopher Carmel. I asked him, not our new friend with the Nostalgia podcast.
No, that's very true. Chris. That's a good way to identify it.
But I was like, what was the scariest movie you saw when you were little? And he was like, It. And one time we watched it with a babysitter, and then she wanted me to take a shower after, and he was like, I cried and I couldn't take the fucking shower, and she made me take a shower because like he comes out of the drain.
So sensitive.
Poor little Christopher.
She's like, my boyfriend's coming over. Go take a shower.
Yeah, she probably like wanted to take a shower so her boyfriend could come over and they could make out
or other things
or fuck each other. Just kidding.
Each other's fathers.
Let's not talk shit about Chris's
babysitter.
She's probably listening today.
Totally.
What if she was?
Nicole, are you listening?
Nikki! Okay, next up we have Silence of the Lambs.
That one.
Another American psychological thriller that came out in 1991.
That one is actually still one that I watch, and I've watched it 100 times because I'm a psychopath. And when I watch after, I'm just like, I just either need a shower, I have to watch some Friends. I don't know what. I mean, it still fucks with my. I don't know if it's because of like the music, and they just nailed that, where it just leaves a creepy energy on you. Yeah, it's really gross. Yeah, it just is not. They did a good job.
They really fucking did a good job. Yeah. So yeah, Silence of the Lambs, starring Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, Ted Levine as Buffalo Bill, and the Mangina. So yeah, what a great, if you've never seen Silence of the Lambs,
then I don't know
good
what
job.
You're doing. Yeah.
Just kidding.
You were raised correctly.
Should. It's actually one of American Film Institute ranked it the 5th greatest and most influential thriller film of all time.
I believe that.
Also, Hannibal Lecter and Clarice, who is played by Jodie Foster, are ranked among some of the greatest film heroines and villains of all time.
Yeah.
The movie's considered culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant by the U.S. Library of Congress.
Damn. That's extra some high prestige there.
It was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry in 2011. It's like a horror masterpiece according to Roger Ebert. It's up there with some of the best thriller horror films of all time. Okay. It's fucking creepy as fuck.
It is creepy as fuck.
It's creepy as fuck. It's basically about this woman, Jodie Foster. She's a fucking trained to be an FBI agent, but they have this issue. They're trying to find this dude named Buffalo Bill because this lady named Catherine's missing, and they're trying to find this Buffalo Bill dude who just likes to, skin women and then kill them and wear their skin.
He likes to he likes to kill overweight women because their skin's looser.
Oh, yes.
It's a whole fucking thing.
It's a thing.
And he cuts pattern. Oh, it's so gross.
He's a special man.
Yeah.
And then so the FBI agents and people are not being able to fucking find him. So they're like, oh, what if we talk to another serial killer and maybe we can figure out some things about Buffalo Bill, get inside of his mind.
Yeah.
And then these FBI agents are trying to fucking talk to Hannibal Lecter. They can't, so they're like, oh, let's get this beautiful young woman, Jodie Foster, who's trained to be an FBI agent, to talk to him. Maybe he'll talk to her. So they talk. Shit happens. Yeah. Hannibal Lecter's a cannibal.
And it's crazy. And don't want to ruin
Buffalo
it
Bill
for
is
you.
Gross.
Yeah. If you haven't seen
There's moths. I literally hated moths after seeing this movie. I saw it when I was
only because he
7.
was pulling it out of people's mouths.
I think I was 8 or 9 when I saw this movie. Yeah. Yeah. Gross. Yes. And should I tell them what the Silence of the Lambs actually means?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, skip 45 seconds.
It's not going to ruin the movie for you. Well,
what?
I mean,
we'll just go ahead and say it.
I'll just say it. So, the Silence of the Lambs. So, during this interaction with Hannibal Lecter and Clarice, he tries to get to know her. That's his exchange of information. He's like, all right, I'll give you some information if you give me some information about you. / he's an incredible psychiatrist. Also on the side, his side hustle is being a cannibal and eating people that he kills.
Yeah, that side hustle.
So she tells him the story about these lambs one time when she was little, and that they were getting slaughtered and she could hear them screaming, and she tried to save one, but she wasn't able to save the one lamb that she tried to save.
For a couple miles.
Yeah, she tried to run away from home, but they ended up picking her up and they sent her off to boarding school, but she never knew what happened to the lamb. And so she feels that if she helps this person get found, that the lambs will be silenced.
And they will stop
because they scream in her dreams.
It's true. But no,
that is the poetic Silence of the Lambs. Okay?
Yeah.
Very poetic.
It's very poetic.
All right. I was going to read the ending line of the book, but I won't.
Why?
Because it ruins the whole movie.
Oh, then don't do that.
Ruins the whole thing. All right, moving forward 9 years, because I didn't find any other significant movies in between 1991 and 1999.
Oh, really?
I mean, I did, but for me,
they weren't scary. I mean, Scream was a significant one, but it wasn't.
We already talked about Scream.
But we didn't talk about Scream.
I talked about Scream in my 90s.
Oh, we did talk about
movies.
Scream. We did talk about Scream. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it wasn't I don't think I was ever really. No, the only time I was ever scared was about the
I'm thirsty as fuck.
Clearly, you're chugging that.
I'm chugging my drink.
Yeah. When she gets stuck in the garage.
Yeah. Poor little lady.
Poor little Tatum.
Well, I actually didn't even see this movie, but it popped up on like some of my... I looked up like scariest movies in the 1990s, and this was one of them. And this one I never saw because I was fucking freaked out.
Okay.
The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, fuck that movie.
You guys remember that? That is 90s as fuck.
It is super 90s.
Supernatural horror film. I do
remember that one. I think I only saw that once or twice. And I just remember... I don't remember anything really of it except the very ending scene. Where she's standing in the corner. And then...
that's the scene.
It just stops. You're
that's like, literally the ending.
Yeah, it makes you vomit. Yeah. That one did freak me out.
Yeah, so it is about 3 student filmmakers, Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard, all who those actors, that was their real names. Mm-hmm. And I think they might have been student filmmakers, like for real too, but maybe not.
But did they die? Just joking.
They tried to pull it off as they actually did in real life, but...
I do remember that. I was like...
during the movie.
Yeah.
So they hiked to the Black Hills near Burkittsville, Maryland in 1994 to film a documentary about a local legend known as the Blair Witch. And apparently, like, in the Blair Witch legend, like, people will go into the forest and they disappear. And
yeah.
Crazy shit happens in the forest. So the 3 end up disappearing, but their equipment and footage are discovered a year later. Mm. And the recovered footage is what the film is. So once they find this footage, that's what the Blair Witch Project is. It's all their footage. It's real. Anyways, so this is a style, actually. Found footage technique.
It's just the style.
It was first made popular by a movie called Cannibal Holocaust.
Whoa.
Where apparently people found footage of a cannibal holocaust.
Like there was a cannibal at the Holocaust, or like
I think it was like a Holocaust of cannibalism, but I didn't read much into the Cannibal Holocaust.
Because you're like, I don't want to get like any weird triggers from my search engines that's gonna come with that, so I'm good.
I didn't. Yeah. So Daniel Merrick and Eduardo Sanchez, who were the people that made the film, the real people that made the film. Mm-hmm. I know this is so confusing.
I know.
They were actually film students themselves, and they were inspired to make this film after realizing that they found documentaries on paranormal phenomena scarier than actual horror films. So then they were like, let's make a horror film that's like a real horror, like documentary style, so it makes it even scarier. And so that's how the Blair Witch came to be.
Oh, okay.
Blair Witch Project.
I mean, that's fair.
So there was no script. It was literally improvised mostly.
They were just winging it.
There was an outline that they would get daily.
It's kind of fun, though.
It's kind of cool. So this is literally how they would start work every day. The actors, which there was literally like 3 and maybe 1 who played the demon witch lady.
Yeah.
So production programmed weight points in a GPS unit for the actors to locate in milk crates. And then there were 3 plastic canisters in each milk crate. And each plastic canister contained notes on where the story was going for each actor. So they would get their own little canister that they would read in private, and they wouldn't show anyone else. And only they would know what their character was supposed to be like doing or what was going to happen. So like they could all kind of react. It's kind of fucking cool how they did it. It is, but
it also sounds like a exercise at like a community theater workshop.
Yeah. We should do a Blair Witch Project 30-ish corn maze.
That sounds terrifying.
Fun house. Just kidding. Anyways, so yeah, from that point, they were free to improvise the dialogue, provided they followed the general instructions given to them on their little papers and their canisters.
Okay, I mean, that is very cool how to make a movie, though, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, that's giving the actors a lot of, like you guys better not fuck this up.
Right, so just some creative freedom. It's kind of fun.
So, super fun fact. This is a super fun fact about Blair Witch.
Super fun.
One of the actors, Mike, had quit his furniture mover job on the Late Night with Conan O'Brien show soon after Blair Witch Project was released, only to return to it to supplement his acting income and to support his wife and kids, which he's never returned to acting, I don't think. I don't think any of these people did except one. But anyways, isn't that funny?
That is
he was on the Conan O'Brien show. I thought I had to share that with you.
Good old Conan.
So synchronistic.
Employing all those fucking weirdos.
Yeah. Good job, Coney.
Good old Good old Coney.
So I thought this was also insane. Oh yeah, so the Blair Witch Project premiered at the Sundance Film Festival at midnight on January 23rd, 1999, and the promotional marketing campaign listed all the actors as either missing or deceased. And again, using their real names.
Interesting.
One of the actors' moms would actually receive sympathy cards because even like on IMDb it would say the actors were dead and shit.
Oh my god, that's quite a hoax.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I'll give them that. That's quite a hoax.
Mm-hmm. So, so before edits, the movie cost $35,000 to make. The actors were paid $1,000 a day for 8 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were just filming in the fucking woods. It didn't cost that much to make that. After edits, it was about like $750,000, but it ended up grossing $250 million worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
Making it one of the most successful independent films of all time.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one in the theaters because I was too scared, but I did watch it, on video cassette.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole media franchise now, including 2 sequels, novels, comic books, and even video games.
I think I
remember the video game.
That sounds terrifying. I think I only watched the second sequel. I didn't even know there was a third.
Oh, there's a third.
It's fucking stupid.
All right, next up, The Sixth Sense.
Oh, yeah.
That movie fucked me up for so long. I literally couldn't. I had to like jump onto my bed for years. Why? Because I thought Misha Barton was under it.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting to barf on my feet.
She just wanted to give you a videotape.
Yeah, I don't want it, Misha.
My mommy's making me sick.
Just get to the OC already. Hurry up.
My mommy's making me sick.
So it stars Bruce Willis as a child psychologist whose patient Haley Joel Osment can talk to the dead. And so Malcolm Crowe, who is Bruce Willis, returns home one night as his wife Anna returns home one night with his wife after he had been honored for his work one night. Mm-hmm. And so then when they were in their house, this young dude breaks into their house, accuses Malcolm of failing him because when this boy was a young boy, he also saw dead people.
Yeah.
And he was still sick.
Yeah, very sick.
It was still antagonizing him. So, he used to treat this man for hallucinations as a child. And before he could talk the man down from his rage, Vincent shoots Bruce Willis and then shoots himself.
Right.
And then the scene changes to next fall and Malcolm's onto a new job with where he meets Cole Sear, Haley Joel Osment. He's a 9-year-old boy. Cole. Who sees dead people. Malcolm throughout the movie notices his wife becomes cold and distant and he just kind of delves into his work with Cole much more. And so, yeah, Cole finally confides in his secret with Mr. Bruce Willis Malcolm that he sees ghosts walking around like the living, and the story unfolds and creepy ghosts pop out. At all times during the movie, when you least it is a jumpy ass fucking movie.
It is a jumpy movie, and you it's
very graphic.
It is, like, especially
good.
Like, there's times that you're like, oh, okay, like, whatever, and then there's other times where there's just like, oh, there's a ghost, and like half his face is blown off. It's very terrifying, and
just like eerie things, like they are in the kitchen, and then it pans out, and then they pan back to the kitchen, and all the fucking drawers and cupboards are open. Like, it just gives you the heebie-jeebies.
It does.
It's really fucking well-made movie.
It's really
well
like
done. Definitely M. Night Shyamalan's best.
I think it was. It's where he peaked.
He was 29.
Yeah, well, good for him.
29 when he made that movie. Not even when he made it, when it premiered. So he was like 27 when he was making it, I'm sure.
Good for him. Never looked back.
It grossed about $379 million.
Damn.
It was the second highest grossing film of 1999. It was nominated for 6 Academy Awards. It was fucking great. So I thought this was kind of funny. Little Haley Joel Osment, adorable little boy that he is. His dad, Eugene Osment, was a theater and movie actor and made sure that his son read the entire screenplay twice before auditioning. So he was fucking prepared.
Damn.
his dad also told him, though he had to read the script 2 different times, he was like, son, this isn't a horror movie. This is about communication. Okay? Don't think anything of it. So I thought that was funny.
That was pretty funny.
Also, guess who auditioned to play the little boy?
Macaulay Culkin?
Close.
No, wait. Rory Culkin.
Michael Cera. But he was too upbeat for the role, which makes perfect sense.
You mean his monotone?
He was like way too upbeat for like what they needed for the little.
That's because he's just like, oh yeah, like, I see dead people.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what I do.
Yeah, seriously. Also, Donnie Wahlberg of the fucking New Kids on the Block played the patient who broke into his house.
Was that?
Yeah, he lost 43 pounds for the role.
Damn.
For his 3-minute part, but it was because he was preparing to be for people to take him very seriously as an actor.
Did it work?
So that's why he lost 43 pounds.
Did it work?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
What was the last thing he was in? Sixth
Literally,
Sense?
The Sixth Sense. The fucking reboot of
I don't
New
know
Kids
what
on the
I'm
Block.
doing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disparage this poor man. Like,
it's fine. Okay, next up we have fucking 13 Ghosts. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah. Did you? I mean, this is
I
probably
hated that movie.
This
so
was
much.
like. Did you ever watch the one that was before that movie? It wasn't a prequel, but it was just the movie that the studio house made before 13 Ghosts. So
Was it Glass House?
no, it was. I don't think I watched that one. It was House on Haunted Hill.
Oh,
And that thing was super creepy. It's actually a little bit creepier than 13 Ghosts. But 13 Ghosts was pretty creepy.
I never saw House on Haunted Hill because I was too scared.
That one, it's still... We actually just watched it maybe like a week or so ago, and it still fucking creeps me out.
Ooh.
Blech. Yeah.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts is like... It was made in 2001. It's kind of like wannabe... I mean, it's a remake of the original 13 Ghosts, which was in the, 1960s. And I feel like this remake was very, 2000s, tried to be a little,
It's very
futuristic, edgy.
It is very edgy.
For sure.
Yeah. Especially, the one scene where they had Matthew Lillard be chopped up in different pieces.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was also a flop.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
It was not the best movie. It
thought
scared the shit out of me in, 7th grade.
Yeah. It was like our Saw.
It was, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like our Saw.
It was. Yeah, so there were 13 ghosts. There was the firstborn son, the ghost of a little... Each one of these ghosts has a fucking ridiculous story, which isn't completely told in the movie, but there's a special feature on the DVD called The Ghost Files, where the main psychiatrist or fucking... What is he? He's like a psychic ghost hunter dude in the movie. He narrates this Ghost Files feature on the DVD, and it tells you the backstory about the ghosts.
I appreciate the old school special features of the DVDs because they were almost like little episodes and featurettes with it made specifically for.
They were.
It was just so kind of adorable.
Really special.
It was. It was a time.
So yeah, there's the firstborn son. Who loved to pretend to be a cowboy. There was the torso, who, yeah,
was a torso?
He was literally cut into pieces, wrapped him in cellophane, dumped his remains in the ocean, and his ghost appears as a torso with a severed head nearby.
Cool.
There was next up the bound woman, the richest girl in town. And she's wearing prom attire because she was the talk of the town as well. There's the withered lover, the torn prince, the angry princess, the pilgrimess.
I don't remember any of this.
She died of starvation after being condemned to the pillory that she carries with her as a ghost. Her skin is badly damaged. The Great Child.
The Great Child.
The Great Child. He was a mentally disabled man who never outgrew diapers.
Oh.
And had to be spoon-fed even as a grown adult.
Okay.
The Dire Mother, who was his mother, Harold's mother.
Oh,
she was a shy lady. They remained together, her and Harold. They were together in their fucking little ghost capsule. Gross. So all these ghosts in this movie were I don't know if you remember this, but they were like, caged in glass, sheets of glass, but all the sheets of glass had like Latin inscriptions that were like spell fucking. Yeah, they were like spells so that they couldn't get out. But then like one night, all these people are staying at the house, and the fucking thing like goes offline, and all the spell walls are fucking deactivated, and all the ghosts can escape. And then it's these people getting murdered by these ghosts. My fucking the scariest one though was the jackal. To me, she was
the jackal,
born to a prostitute. Yeah, he had like a fucking. He had a cage over his head, and he had like.
I do remember the jackal.
Yeah, he was scary. And then the Juggernaut, who was the scariest one of all, the most dangerous, and his kill count was in the 40s. Anyways.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the Juggernaut. Okay, moving on from the 13 Ghosts to this movie, The Ring. Did you get fucked up by The Ring?
Oh, yeah. We actually just watched that the other day, too.
I wanted to watch it again because I've never seen...
It definitely...
It's not as scary?
It's still not... It's like, oh, yeah, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
The jackal.
It's still just as scary. I mean, just because, like, the sounds, it's like just all of it. The sounds are gross.
The images are just...
Whoever did the sound design was... I mean, they're just amazing at what they do. And then just the images and the costumes and, like, when they were disfigured, like, it still creeps the shit out of me.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Or, like, when she would see how her nail would come off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gross.
So The Ring paved the way for English language remakes of Asian horror films but I guess it was the best one because all the other ones were pretty floppy.
You know, the only other one that I kind of liked, but it still scared the shit out of me, was The Grudge.
I never saw that one.
That one, because they had like that whole thing with the... I won't make the noise, but like, yeah, it is essentially like that. But I can do it to a T, but I don't want to do it. Anyway, yeah. So, anyway, so yeah.
Yes, So it was a remake of Hideo Nakata's 1998 Japanese horror film.
Pretty close to what it was.
Ringu, based on Koji Suzuki's 1991 novel Ringu. And apparently our version of The Ring is about 50% different than the Japanese version.
That's not shocking.
So where did I put that information? Oh, yeah. So the Japanese story involves characters having ESP, a volcano, dream logic, and references to brine and goblins.
Oh,
We're all taken out. Damn it.
That's bullshit. Like, I would love to Then figure that, put that in there.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't watch The Ring, you must be still alive.
And then I know, like...
You die in 7 days when you watch it.
After The Ring released, then I started seeing, like, copies of Ring U in the video stores.
Yeah.
Which is also an old-fashioned sentence, so... After
I saw The Ring, I thought I saw the static on the TV a lot more often. And when I did, it would freak me the fuck out, and I'd have to shut it off immediately.
I did. The first time I watched it, I hated... It would freak me out when, like, the phone would ring, even though, it scared the shit out of me.
And the little boy.
And then when he would, like, she crawled out of the TV.
Yeah. I've literally never seen that part. I've seen that movie at least 3 times, but I've never opened my eyes to see that.
Oh, you close your eyes?
I close my eyes.
It's actually one of the only scenes I actually will not watch. Because it still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. I don't want it.
I watched it one time and it scared the crap out of me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So... Speaking of, like, cool DVDs, if you got the VHS or the DVD of this movie, it would start with the fucking actual video of The Ring. And then it would, like, static. Yeah, they yeah. And then, like, there was, like, different parts of the DVD that you could go into.
I do remember that.
They just tried to freak you out. I thought that was kind of fun.
I had...
creepy.
I did have the DVD of The Ring, and I do think I do remember that. And I honestly thought it was just... I never put it together till just now. I thought it was just the intro to the menu.
Yeah.
Because that was like a big thing too. It's like they would have as DVDs became a bigger and bigger thing, they would have these super elaborate intros to these menu screens before you would click. So I was like, oh, it's just like we're gonna watch the whole thing, and that was a whole scare tactic. Interesting. Okay.
It didn't work. It didn't. I was never afraid. Also, you could there was a website that you could go to
sick,
that was like where you could watch the video, and it was where like the actual like quote unquote where the first person found the video or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah,
where
you
could watch
put in your number,
and it has this like crazy warning. And I went to because you can still go to the website. Maybe I'll post about it.
You should. Make a phenomenon.
But it has this creepy, like it's super 2001 like fucking websites.
Nice.
If you remember what websites used to look like, or like web pages and shit. It was like 100%. An old web page.
Oh, nice.
And then it had some weird, creepy intro like, watching this video is like a hypnotic spell. It keeps you from moving. You just watch. The mental blast sends a jolt right into the brain. Does the phone really ring, or do you just think it does? And then it like goes on to this huge thing. And it's just silly.
Sounds like
the ring.
Scary pasta or something, whatever that was called.
Scary pasta.
It was like a blog for kids that they would just put on like, they would post about like scary stories and shit. So where Slender Man comes from, but it looks like creepypasta. That's what it's called.
Creepypasta. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I didn't know about
that's
that.
That's what that
chat
sounds
room.
like. Is what that website sounds like. Is something from creepypasta.
It's probably something like that. And that's really all I got. I had some honorable mentions, like obviously Scream, Saw, which I've never seen any of them.
I've only seen one.
There's 9, but it's grossed over $1 billion.
There's 9 Saws?
Yeah, and
that's
the
ridiculous.
9th one's coming out, and it's starring Chris Rock, and it's actually written by him. It's called Spiral.
Oh.
If you've seen commercials for that, that's actually a new Saw movie.
I have not seen
by Chris Rock.
By Chris Rock?
Yeah.
That's
he
interesting.
Must have really liked it. Lake Placid fucked me up. I couldn't go in a lake normally.
You know what,
for a
that
long
one,
time.
And you know what, honestly, Anaconda fucked me up for a long time.
My Anaconda don't want none.
No.
Devil's Rejects. I never watched that, but that scared me.
I never watched that.
And then some old school ones, which I've never seen either of them all the way through. These are probably some of the scariest movies of all time. The Exorcist and Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, I don't consider really scary.
What?
Absolutely. But actually, though, the only part that really scared me, and it still scares me to this day, even though it looks so fucking fake, is when he tears his face off. Like, do you remember, like, when he's like...
I've never seen that movie, not even 1 minute of it.
So, like, it's like he's eating, like, he goes and he, like, washes his face. It's like the camera guy. And he, like, sees, like, this little, like, thing on his face, and it looks like he's like, oh, that's weird. And then he starts like picking at it.
Oh.
And then it goes like it shoots.
I don't like it.
So it like kind of goes down to like it'll shoot down to like where the stuff is coming off, right? But at some point when he's digging at his face, it's clearly like a fucking fake mask, but it's still so creepy. But then you watch him just tear it. I mean, it's really gross.
Ew.
But even though it looks fake, I still have nightmares about that. Ugh.
Wait.
But the rest of it, though, like, I don't think it's as gross or scary as The Exorcist. Exorcist, I didn't even think it was that scary either. It was just disgusting and vulgar.
It is fucked up.
But it didn't scare me. Yeah.
I tried to watch The Exorcist one time by myself. I think we've talked about this. But
Why would you do that?
I don't know. And it was literally after I had a sleepover with my friend and we played with a fucking Ouija board for the first time in my life. And so I came home and my sister had rented The Exorcist and no one was home. And I was like, maybe I should just try to watch this by myself, even though I'm the biggest wuss I've ever met in my whole life. And I knew that. But I decided it was the middle of the day. It'd be fine if I watched The Exorcist. Nope. She starts fucking herself with the crucifix. That's about as far as I got. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I started crying. I was like, I can't watch this. Jesus, forgive me. Please don't possess me, because I too was playing with a Ouija board last night. And that's how she gets possessed, is because she plays with a Ouija board. So I was like, oh my God, this is my life. Oh my God, where are my parents?
Is that how she gets possessed?
It's something, well, I don't know, but she plays with a Ouija board before she's like a fucking freak lady.
Your mother sucks cock in hell.
Ew. So funny.
so gross.
It's so scary and I just hate demonic shit. But yeah, that's my
I don't watch
shit movies that
I can't watch
scared the shit out of us.
Those like The Conjuring. I can't watch any of that. Like that one it truly creeps me out to my core.
The Conjuring was creepy. It wasn't as scary as like I feel like new scary movies are just like not that fucking scary anymore. But maybe I'm just an older and maybe it's just because I'm 30-ish.
That's fake.
Like, oh my God. Okay, me and Chris tried to watch this scary movie on Netflix the other day. Should have guessed by the title. But I was like, okay, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But the title is No One Ever Gets Out Alive. It was horrible. It was so bad. It was so laughable. And it was just like, you guys are so dumb. And this would never happen.
It's amazing.
And what the fuck is going on? And what does this have to do with anything? That's literally how I was acting and laughing the whole time. That's kind of how I felt
about, like, we went to go see Venom 2. And it was better than the first Venom. I'm a big Marvel fan. But some of the characters, you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever watched in a long time. And this has the Marvel name printed on it. So this is stupid. And, like, why is she even here? Like, this is a dumb character. This is just dumb. Yeah.
Isn't Tom Hardy Venom?
Yeah, Tom Hardy is.
Was that nice?
Yeah.
Is he covered up the whole time though?
I mean, no.
Can't really see that beautiful face of his.
Do you have a little crush on Tom Hardy?
Lips. Yeah,
clearly.
He's a sexy, sexy man.
Okay.
Look at him.
I mean, yeah, he
just fucking look at him.
Okay, you have a type, clearly.
Do I? It's all of you.
Well, I guess you don't have a type because you like...
Tom Hardy's kind of Chris Carmely.
He does. He is. He does. He is.
They're both white boys.
I mean, that's the similarity.
They're both... I like all boys. You know that Lizzo song about boys?
Yeah.
I like all boys.
Just like all of them.
I like them all, except I love just one.
I know you love one.
Christopher Carmel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Drake.
Oh.
Which I'm sure even he'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I love a lot of, I love everyone. But I love Chris the most.
Oh, that's the correct answer.
Okay, enough about my smoke box.
Okay. You're going to make Austin real mad.
Is it your time to shine? It is. Let's get into it. Da 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 da.
Oh, I got a big toe.
She did it again. Oops, she did it again with her toe.
That's just how she
turned it on. Turned on the pop.
Have you watched any of that yet? No. You got to.
I've got to. I've been watching stupid horror movies on Netflix.
Clearly. Well, watch House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
And tell me how much you peed your pants. So.
Okay.
It's pretty gross.
I was like, Chris, you want to watch the Blair Witch Project? He's like, no.
He's like, absolutely
not. They just run around and scream a lot. I was like, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's really creepy, though.
Just standing there.
And then
in the green screens.
And then it's over.
And then it's done. Okay.
It is time.
It is time for crime. Are you guys ready? Are you guys so excited? It was a double header this week and last week.
A
double crime.
For Shay. A double
header
for Shay.
For me. Okay. So this week, we are talking about Madalyn Murray O'Hair. You ever heard of her?
No.
You wouldn't. It's fine.
I was too busy thinking about Madalyn. Oh, Madalyn.
I do remember that little cartoon.
Who had 12 little girls and
all in
straight lines.
2 straight lines. Oh, yeah, you were right. So this one actually was one of the very first, which just sounds creepy and sad, but whatever. This is actually one of the very first murder mystery things that I watched with my dad. So it's like baby's first murder.
Nostalgic.
It's super nostalgic. I'm like, oh,
how old were you?
Strings. Like 5. No, I don't know. I probably like if I was like retaining memories, like probably like 10, something like that.
Okay.
So anyway, Yeah. So, and I think actually it was like City Confidential or something like that. Something that nobody can watch anymore, which is super sad because they were the best. Anyway.
God damn it.
Okay, so a little bit backstory on Madalyn. Born in 1919, so she was old. That
was 100 years ago.
Right?
Over.
That's
102.
Insane. Right? Like, that's kind of fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. So she was born in 1919, and she was an American activist supporting atheism and separation of church and state. Oh. So she actually was deemed the most hated woman in America.
Wow.
And you can probably guess by which group of people. And mostly, and she actually also wore like that badge with like fucking honor. She's like, that's fucking right. That's right.
This is who
I am the most
am.
hated, so don't fucking cross me.
This is my life purpose.
You give me a free fucking Whopper at every fucking drive-thru. I'm the most hated, because nobody likes Burger King. Hashtag sponsor us. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, anyway.
It's like, what?
It's fine.
They didn't have Whoppers then.
Back in this is not when she was deemed that. It was like in the 60s.
Know. Oh, got it. Oh, I guess she was born in 1919.
Yeah. So, so she also was responsible. So the reason why she was the most hated woman in America was mostly because she was responsible for disallowing prayer in school. So she was the one that actually stopped that. She actually sued the state. She actually used her son, or one of her sons, as like, you need to go take notes in fucking class, and you're gonna go and you're gonna help me aid in my campaign. And he was like, okay, mommy. So
whenever you say ma'am.
Yeah. So in 1963 she founded American Atheist and served as its president until 1986, which her son John Garth Murray succeeded her. But backing up, in 1965 she married and settled in Austin, Texas. What?
Woo woo.
And she created the first issues of American Atheist magazine. So just a well-versed gal. Well-versed gal.
Atheist
just
entrepreneur.
Trying to spread her message. So another thing you need to know about Madalyn is that she also was an aggressive atheist. Meaning, like, she gave zero fucks. Just like, for instance, she described in an interview, and you can actually... You can, like, this is a quote from an interview. The cross is nothing but a limp dick with two scrotums on the side of it. Like, aggressive, you guys. And it's like, I watched it, like, because I was like,
what was her damn.
Like, I don't know, like,
that's
what
crazy.
Catholic school she went to, which none beat the shit out of her.
She scarred for life.
Seriously, but it was so aggressive. She was so vulgar. She would be even vulgar, like, they would be like, we're interviewing you on the whatever you want to talk about. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, she was so aggressive.
She had the power of nothing.
Yeah, so she
inside of her.
She definitely,
not even Satan.
She had some demons, and even like Satan was like, you know what, I'm good. So like
you don't believe in anything, fine with me.
That's
bye.
Fine. I'm off your radar.
I don't even fuck with you, lady.
Absolutely not. So she was even filing lawsuits to get "In God We Trust" removed from the dollar bill. And even trying to get astronauts to stop praying in space, which sounds dramatic, but like the lawsuit surrounded a televised event about Apollo 8 during the 1968 Christmas Eve broadcast. The astronauts marked the event by reading the first few verses of the book of Genesis during their final pass. So she just hated everything that had to do anything about Christianity. So you can imagine,
sounds like it.
Right? So you can imagine. I'm just dying. Apparently, Satan's trying to get a hold of you guys. Take the wheel, Jesus.
Satan's got your tongue.
Just kidding, right?
He doesn't.
Or is it Madalyn? Anyway, so
Madalyn's like, you stop talking shit about my atheism.
She gonna get me. So
I mean, she's not, because she's nowhere.
She's nowhere.
She's
apparently,
just
that's what
piece of dirt.
She's just a tree.
But do you even believe that?
No, you don't believe in anything, right? I would think that those guys would be definitely the ones that, like, have you seen those where you can, like, just become a pod and you're like a tree or whatever? You can grow into a tree. I think that she would totally be somebody, like, yeah, just put me back in the
I would
earth,
do that,
right? Like, but you know what I mean? Like, she's
I feel like it's hard to be it'd be really hard to be like, you don't believe in anything?
Right? Like,
I mean, you don't have to believe in anything.
No, but I mean...
Who the fuck knows what the fuck is... Who the fuck knows?
I mean, I guess for me, I'm just like, I don't know. Which, that's your right to not believe in anything if you don't want to believe in anything.
True.
But I guess for me, and because I guess I don't have any experience with it, so I'm very ignorant on that, but...
I'm being an atheist.
It would be really hard not to believe in anything. Like, this is just it, and then you're just worm food at the very end of it.
Everything's just like,
how would you find...
No point to anything.
Like, for me, and this is just me talking, is like, I would have a hard time being motivated to do anything. And be like, who gives a fuck? Nothing matters.
I'm just gonna be...
Right.
Dirt.
Worm food.
I don't know.
So, yeah. That's just me. But, like, hey, if that's just what they believe, that's what they believe.
And that's why we're all here, for our own human experience.
Right? Your own little journey. So, anyway, so if you can imagine, she kind of created the little thick Rolodex. Anybody know what a Rolodex is? Mm-hmm. A thick Rolodex of enemies. So, so it didn't come to a surprise, or didn't come as a surprise, that she, her son, and her granddaughter Robin disappeared in August of 1995, which is kind of sad that it didn't come to as a surprise, because they were just like, well, yeah, she spits in, like, you know, her in the pastor's mouth when she's like walking by the fucking church, so like, she's.
I'm just picturing if I saw someone do that.
You're like,
holy shit. Holy spit.
That's ridiculous.
That was really funny for me.
Clearly. I love that, though. Why did you laugh so hard? So they had supposedly left a note on the door of the American Atheist office that they had been called away on an emergency. They did call their work associates, although the calls were described as cagey, meaning like they sounded like kind of forced and just weird. One top-level employee said that he couldn't get a straight answer as to when they were going to be back. The last communication of any of the O'Hairs was on September 28th of 1995. And then what makes the disappearance more mysterious was that around $600,000 of the organization's money went missing at the same time. And then on September 29th of 1995, John Murray, the son, picked up like $500,000 worth of gold coins at a San Antonio jewelry store.
Sick.
Yeah, and that was the last time any of the family was seen alive. So everyone assumed they just embezzled a shit ton of money, and left pirate style, and then they just fled. Because they were like, because I watched one of the documentaries, it wasn't the one that I had originally watched, but like they were like these these thick. They look like fucking pirate gold. Like they were crazy looking.
Doubloons.
They 100% look like doubloons. So there was one.
The only reason I know that is from a child's show about the little pirates of Neverland.
That's adorable. Doubloons.
Anyway,
so there was one other ridiculous theory that O'Hair was in poor health and was going somewhere isolated to die because she was so afraid that someone was going to give her a Christian burial. Oh, that was just a fucking rumor, though.
No.
So anyway, the police really didn't think an investigation was really needed and thought it was like an internal issue with the like atheist organization, because they just like, no, they just stole from you, so you're gonna have to take it to a different department. Like we deal with like murders and shit. Like go take it to the FBI because they clearly stole from you, so you're gonna have to go higher up. So they didn't take them seriously until 1998. The realization that it might be a homicide dawned on them when the Dallas County detectives, who knew nothing about the missing atheist in Austin, got a tip in a local murder case that had gone unsolved since 1995. And that was it was like a handless corpse in the Trinity River. So,
yikes.
They were just like, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever. And so the tip kind of came from a reporter in San Antonio that was doing a whole piece on the O'Hairs. So in 1995, there wasn't much, so we're jumping back. So in 1995, there wasn't much more to say about the body, except that for his approximate age was about 40. estimated height and weight when he still had hands. Wait. Yeah, that's actually how I wrote it.
It really affects it.
Yep, it sure does. So, anyway, I'm sorry. I think I was really tired when I wrote this. So,
or you were just making a joke.
Maybe, and I didn't.
It was probably before that.
It was, but I didn't write the other part of the joke, which is kind of funny. So they had his approximate age and his estimated height and weight when he still had hands and a head. I must have did write that. My bad.
Oh,
bad attempt at humor.
Because he was.
Yes, because he had more weight. Okay, so and the victim was but they just threw him in like a fucking morgue drawer, like like your sock drawer. And they're like we'll figure that out later. He's all mismatched and shit, but we'll figure it out.
Just like old Matthew Lillard in 13 Ghosts.
Pretty much, he was all. Oh. In 1996, a reporter by the name of John McCormack started putting the pieces together along with the money that was withdrawn from the account. He found phone records that showed that John Murray was in San Antonio the weeks after the disappearances. So, like, a few weeks. So he knew that he was alive because he was, making phone calls and they was pinging his phone and he was withdrawing shit from the bank and all this kind of stuff. And the calls were made by places like the airport, they were made to places like the airport, the pharmacy to get Madalyn's prescriptions, and jewelry stores to probably just find where they could take the doubloons and exchange it for cash. So it's still looking like they were planning to just hightail it out of there with cash in hand. But jumping back to the headless corpse in the morgue, in 1998, he was finally identified by DNA as Danny Fry. His family had reported him missing back in 1995 as well, and John McCormack urged the family to contact police to see if the body was in fact Danny, because he was kind of following things that were going on. So he got a tip about that they found this guy in the river, in like the Trinity River, and he just had a hunch. So he's like, let's just see what happens.
Okay.
So he urged the family to donate their DNA. Not donate, but like submit their DNA. So police dug into Danny Fry's history once they identified him, and that had led them to the American Atheist Association, which then led them to evidence pointing to suspects, which included a disgruntled ex-employee that included a disgruntled ex-employee of American Atheist named David Waters. In 1993, he was hired as an office manager of the Atheist Association, but he was fired pretty quickly after being caught trying to steal $50,000.
Oh, just real quick.
Real quick, like. And then Madalyn didn't press charges, Madalyn did press charges, but he avoided jail time, making a deal that he would just pay back the money, which who knows if he actually did. Which Madalyn was pretty pissed off about because she thought the law was just too soft with him, and she was like, they just didn't do their job. So she just took matters in her own hands, and she wrote an article on him in her magazine, which was just like a public smear campaign against the poor guy. I say poor guy, but kind of, yeah, it was like her little burn book. Because she was talking about how at the age of 17, Waters had killed another teenager and had been sentenced to 8 years in prison. And then for whatever reason, she added like where he had homosexual relationships with men. And that was a bad thing. So I'm like, as like a person that was trying to be open-minded and like trying to kind of open the doors to make everyone feel included in like churches and whatever, in like schools, if that made them feel uncomfortable. She's pretty biased, kind of a homophobe, so whatever. So just real mature shit. So however, the first part of her claim was actually true, that he did kill somebody and he did serve time. Anyway, apparently the article made David vow revenge. So as the police were putting all these pieces together and obviously now taking the disappearances seriously, David Waters' ex-girlfriend stepped forward after seeing the article about Danny's murder. She told police that David had rented a storage unit around the time of the disappearance. So they went down to the storage unit where they found traces of blood that were matched to both Madalyn and her son John. So they go knocking on David's door. And which is like this whole thing is like this. Do you remember like watching like this Dennis the Menace, or like not watching, but like reading the little comics when he's like that's what it feels like with this. So they go knocking on David's door, where they found a slew of evidence, and so he was promptly arrested. And he had I think he had like firearms on him, which was a felony because he was a convicted felon, right? So like they're like, we have enough to arrest you. So they take him into custody. And there actually was a third accomplice. His name was Gary Paul Carr, and he was tracked down and questioned. And Carr just was like, Waters did it, about how he killed Madalyn and her granddaughter and her son. He signed an affidavit and drew a map so the police could find the bodies. And then he was arrested, taken to jail on possession of 2 firearms. But for whatever reason, I don't know what happened to the map, but they said they still couldn't find the bodies. So he went to trial and was found guilty of conspiracy to commit extortion, traveling interstate in order to commit violent acts, money laundering, and interstate transportation of stolen property. All of the charges were related to the O'Hair case, because the authorities had not yet located the bodies. So he just was able to like kind of be acquitted of that because they hadn't found the bodies yet. So it's like the whole thing where like you can't really have a trial without the bodies, unfortunately. Yeah. So anyway, so he's sentenced to life terms in the year 2000. In 2001, in a plea agreement of the charge of conspiracy, David agreed to lead authorities to the site in Camp Wood, Texas, which is like kind of like southwest of San Antonio.
Camp Wood.
Zinga.
Sounds like a nice place.
Yeah. So the bodies were so mutilated that the cause of death could not be determined for Madalyn and Robin. Their corpses were found burned and stacked on top of one another with the legs removed. And Madalyn's artificial hip...
How do you remove someone's body part?
With a bow saw that they found in his apartment. Yeah. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah. So actually Madalyn's artificial hip was actually one of the pieces that led investigators to positively identify the O'Hairs. John was also found with his arms tied, a plastic bag around his head, and blunt force trauma to the skull, which could have been his cause of death. Though nothing definitive was determined. And the hands and head of Danny Fry were also found at the site. So there was just like somebody like carried the... Drove down with something like that in the back of their fucking trunk for at least 5.5 to 6 hours. And I was like, just throw that in there. It's fine. They'll never find it. Fine. Federal agents of the FBI and the IRS, along with the police, concluded that David and his accomplice had kidnapped all 3 of the O'Hair family members, forced them to withdraw the missing funds, went on several shopping sprees with their money and credit cards, and killed and dismembered all 3 people.
Wow, he was really disgruntled.
He was. So David's accomplices... let me just skip over that part. So a few days after O'Hair and her son and granddaughter were all killed, Waters and Carr killed Danny Fry. Apparently the reason that they killed poor old Danny was that he was a bit of a drinker, and fearing that he was just going to get drunk and start talking and all this kind of shit, they voted him just off the island. So he got to go. In a bit of irony, though, David and his girlfriend had put the gold coins, which he and his accomplices had extorted from the O'Hairs, in an unsecured storage locker, which had been rented by his girlfriend. It only had like a cheap master padlock. David had taken some of the coins, and for a few days he partied with Gary Carr and his former wife. When he returned to the locker, he discovered that the remaining gold coins, so these were the gold coins that were there. They were called American Eagles, Maple Leaf coins, and Krogel Errands, which I've never heard of that before. Okay. Probably butchering that last one, but that's fine. They had all been stolen. A group of thieves from San Antonio who were operating in the area and actually were just like looking for TVs, had gained keys to the type of lock that had been used by David's girlfriend and then just took him and bolted.
That's what you get. Karma's a bitch.
So it was truly karma was a bitch. And then David was essentially sentenced to just 80 years in prison. And he actually died in January 27th in 2003. So he only served like 2 years before passing away.
You're just like, well, I just gotta go.
And that's the end of my story. I said that all really quick.
That's fine, because mine was too long.
No, yours was not. But
damn.
Yeah, that was a lot in a few
fucking
few
blooms.
Minutes. Yeah.
Will get you anywhere.
It will, but I just had to pay homage to it because it was my
your first
my window into this land of just carnage. So
5 years old.
And here I am today, just loving life.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Talking about crime.
That's how I go to sleep at night.
Talking about crime and living by women. Everything I am, just living for the minute. Those are not the words.
I don't even know what that song that was.
Well, way down yonder on a Chattahoochee. You don't know.
Oh, now I know that song, yeah.
Alan Jackson.
Yeah, you're right.
It gets hotter than a hoochie's coochie. Is that what he says?
I mean, it wouldn't
that's what he says.
Because he's Alan Jackson.
It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. What else would that fucking mean?
Christ.
What else would that mean if it doesn't mean a prostitute's vagina?
I don't
Hoochie's coochie.
I don't think he knows what that is because he's
like, I was talking about that side dish that my mama serves with ribs. Dry ribs, no sauce.
Oh my God.
Because I'm from Texas.
It's
Actually,
true.
I don't know where Alan Jackson's from. Is he from Texas?
I don't think he is.
Great. I think he's from like Georgia. He's probably from fucking Tennessee. He's talking about the Chattahoochee. Jesus Christ, Brianna. Connect the dots.
Clearly.
Austin, fact check it. Where is Alan Jackson from? Just kidding.
I love that we have to ask him a week later, and then we're like, we could just
We
do
do,
it right
because
now.
then I forget. It's more fun that way. It's fun to yell to someone in a microphone to fact check them.
I mean, you should be just like a little dictator. It's fun to just yell at a microphone at people.
It is, but with love and support.
That's true.
Speaking of love and support, hey guys, thanks for loving and supporting 30ish podcast. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. There's plenty of episodes for you to catch up on, so you got some time.
Get after
thanks
it.
for being here with us. If you've listened for a while, thank you. Tell us who you are. DM us. Slide into our DMs, especially if you're one of the people that is from Germany. Please tell us who you are.
Please.
We love you.
We
love you all. Anyways, we here at 30ish like to keep things fun and great, and we hope that you enjoyed our time together. So if you feel so inclined, be sure to follow us on Instagram. We're posting some fun things, and you get to see when our new episodes launch, and we're out there. So follow us on Instagram, THURDYISH. If you're in the mood for some CBDs, don't forget to check out our favorite, Farmhouse Hemp.
Hell yeah.
Locally made rosin CBD, really good shit. Use code 30ish, THURDYISH for 10% off. And yeah. Feel free to send us fucking drink recipes. I clearly have been slacking a little bit. Feel free to send us stories you want us to do, or DM, or memes that remind you of being 30ish, or of just your good old friends Brie and Shay. And we're gonna fucking roll the dice, because that's what we do. We roll the dice every week to see what the fuck we're gonna talk about next week. Because, we're 30ish, and you know what? I have to make too many decisions on my own goddamn self, so it's nice to just have a dice that tells me what to do.
That's a nice way to put that.
Am I right?
Nice. That's a nice way to put that.
30ish, where we're motorboating your mind while we're fondling your funny bone.
Put that on a shirt.
I will.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of shirts, get ready, because we're going to have a shirts coming out soon.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all.
All right, shall we roll? Should I move my computer?
It's fine. There we go. Look at that gorgeous roll.
Oh,
I got that nostalgia, though.
Prime nostalgia. You guys, I think we might have memorized our numbers today.
I was like gonna say, I did it. I think I know. I think I know what's gonna happen.
Because we read it out loud one time.
Oh, at least 45. It's fine. That's a 3.
Is that crime?
No, 2 is crime. What's 3?
Is food.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Here we go again. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Oh, we'll know next week.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Open up your fruit case. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open up my fruit case.
Are you?
For all of you to see. Too bad it's a podcast so you can't see shit. Psych. Oh my god. All right, it's my bedtime. Okay, bye.